Okay, welcome back. Here we go. So, chapter 6, forms of oral medications. Hmm. Well, oral medications can come in liquid form, caplets, capsules, and tablets. Be mindful of the size of the patient and the size of the pill and the amount of pills to be administered. It is best to administer the fewest number of tablets or capsules as possible. But also be mindful of patient-specific dosages based on body weight, and body surface area. So the mindful thing you really have to be is to, if you look at this cartoon, if you look at this cartoon, it says, hey, we combined all your medications into one convenient dose. If you've ever taken medication before, you know that that one big dose isn't necessarily always the best way because pills are big. However, be mindful of administering the fewest number of capsules or tablets because you don't want to go and say, hey, go give your patient 10 pills when you can give them, in fact, 2 or 3. So in other words, if you're taking Advil and you have to take 500 milligrams, you would rather them not take 100 milligram tablets. You would like them to take 250 milligram, or even better, 500 milligram tablets. So that's what we're going to look on today. So if your calculations indicate a large number of tablets per dose, you should verify your calculations. So medication in solid form, the strength of the dose must be in a unit fraction. The unit fraction is going to be the amount of medication, pure drug, how much of the pure drug is in the medication, which will be the numerator of your strength fraction. The total volume in the form of the drug, for example, tablet, capsule, caplet, or milliliters if it's a liquid, will be in the denominator. So in other words, this right here is 4 milligrams. That's the strength of it, but it's per tablet. So your fraction would say 4 milligrams per tablet, pure drug over total volume, or you can flip it to say 1 tablet is 4 milligrams. Calculating how much medication to administer. This is a good page to have to rewind back to if you need it, but when a question asks you how much to administer without specifying, like per dose, per day, etc., it's assuming that you're a nurse now just administering the medication for 1 dose. You wouldn't administer a whole day's dose of medication for a patient who needs the dose right now. So when calculating the dose of a drug to administer, you are looking for the dose and you're looking for the strength. Once it is found, your calculation should be set up as dose times strength. And the dose is a one-time administration, and the strength should be used for dimensional analysis to cancel out that dose's unit. So we're going to make sure we reread the question to make sure that all we need is the dose, not per day, per week, etc. Those are some key tips to coming back, because this is going to be all word problems from now on. So medication in a solid form, if you look at this, the order reads Glucotrol XL, 10 milligrams by mouth daily. How many tablets of this medication would you administer? So you would first have to find, in order to administer, dose and strength, and then when you find them, multiply them together. So if it says that the dose is 10 milligrams by mouth daily, it means you're taking it 1 time and 10 milligrams of that. So 10 milligrams is my dose, and put that over 1. Times my strength, which would be milligrams in the bottom, because remember strength is a fraction, and milligrams in the bottom because it has to cancel with the 10 milligrams up there. So we have here 5 milligrams per tablet. So I can say 5 milligrams are in each 1 tablet of medication. And you can say that you would then cancel out the milligrams and you would administer 2 tablets. Now this was fairly easy. So if you get something like this and it says 10 there and you could just give me 2, the dimensional analysis way will be sure to tell you that it's the correct form, the correct way, the correct amount every time. However, if it's as easy as 10 and you're only taking 2 tablets, it's okay to just give me that strength, to give me that dose. So here we have another medicine label, and it says how many tablets of Vicodin will be needed for a dose containing 10 milligrams of hydrocodone by titrate and 600 milligrams of acetaminophen. So this is called a combination drug. It has Vicodin in it, or the Vicodin has both this hydrocodone bititrate in it, and it has acetaminophen in it. So this has one thing, which is this, and since it's a combination drug, the first thing listed is the strength of the first thing listed, is the first thing needed. The second thing listed, this acetaminophen, would be the second strength, and it's going to be per tablet. So if you want to find it for hydrocodone bititrate, you would use that first dosage right here. It says the first dose would be 10 milligrams of bititrate, so 10 milligrams would be your first dose. And your strength of that medicine alone, since it was listed first, would be the first one listed here, 5 milligrams per tablet. When you figure that out, you're going to cancel out your milligrams, and you would find that this person would need 2 tablets. Now, if you're like, okay, Kelly, I want to do the acetaminophen route, fine. This is mentioned second, and it's mentioned second on the label, so it's the second strength per tablet. So I would have 600 milligrams as my strength, as my dose, times with milligrams in the bottom to cancel out with my strength fraction. And here I have 300 milligrams per tablet. When I cancel out there, I would also here get 2 tablets. So it doesn't matter which one you need. If you want to do both just to see if you're correct, that's all right. You will never ever get a combination drug with an order with different rates here. So if it's one drug, it's one pill, you can't break it up and get, a different amount of each of those in each section of the pill. So what would happen is you can never have like 10 milligrams here and 300 milligrams here, because it wouldn't go up in the same increments. But because it's a combination drug, both drugs have to go up in the same increments. Neat, right? You're going to see a lot more of these combination drugs in your career, so it's good. This next one says the order is Tadalafil 20 milligrams by mouth prior to sexual activity. The medication is available in 3 different strengths as shown below. Determine how you would administer this dose using the fewest number of available tablets. So your patient needs 20 milligrams. If you use this one, they would need 4 tablets, right? Because that's 5 milligrams. If they need this one, it would be 2 tablets to get to 20 milligrams. And if you use this one, it's a 1 dose of 20 tablets. So I just need 1 tablet. 1 tablet has 20 milligrams. So in fact, the fewest number, you would say you would administer this one. Now, if you ran out, then of course you would go to the next one. All right. Medication in liquid form. When it is difficult to swallow tablets, oral medications are ordered in liquid forms through calibrated droppers, oral syringes, and measuring spoons. But be careful, right here it says currently devices used, let's blow this up. Currently devices used to measure oral doses are not standardized. Therefore, to prevent overdosing or underdosing, you would never use a measuring device supplied with one medication for a different medication. If you told your patient you're going to go home and take 1 dropper full, and your patient's like, cool, and your patient has this dropper and then loses it, they were like, oh, it's cool, I got this dropper from my other medication. I just need to give 1 dropper full to my person, to myself, to my child, to anything. So what happens is, if you did that, this was 1 milliliter syringe dropper, and this one here is a 3 milliliter dropper. So you'd be giving 3 times the amount of medication needed. And that may affect your getting better. So also, likewise, if you did the opposite and you had a dropper full 3 and you only gave 1, then they're not getting enough medicine to get better. So be careful. The measuring cups look like this. There's measuring spoons, oral syringes. Those are used mostly for pediatric and elderly. Strength of the dose when in liquid form is still the pure drug versus the total volume. So the example is, if you have 50 milligrams of a drug in 5 milliliter solution, your strength would be 50 milligrams per 5 milliliters. Or if you give 5 milliliters, then you could be assured that the patient got 50 milligrams. Do not mix medications in essential foods or fluids such as milk, juice, or formula. It's better to just give them the pure amount right away. All right, here we go. So, the prescriber ordered oral solution, 0.25 milligrams, by mouth, PO, by mouth, BID, twice a day. If you don't know these yet, you have to know those labels. Know those abbreviations. Read the label and determine how many milliliters you will prepare. So the dose on here is 0.25 milligrams. They're going to take it twice a day, but just one time a day they get 0.25 milligrams, and then later on in the day they get another 0.25. Times your dose, the strength, you have 1 milligram per 1 milliliter, so 1 milligram per 1 milliliter. Since it's a 1-to-1 function, then you're just giving 0.25 milliliters. The physician orders Omnicef 500 milligrams by mouth every 12 hours. Determine the number of milliliters you would administer to the patient. So my dose here is 500 milligrams. They're going to take it twice a day, but you're just giving how much you would administer one time. So that would be 500 milligrams. Times the strength would be milligrams. If you look here, it says 125 milligrams per 5 milliliters. You cancel your milligrams, and if you do your calculations, I believe it's 4 milliliters. I believe wrong. It's 20 milliliters. It equals 20 milliliters. Awesome sauce. Okay. So there are also medications that are not measured in milligrams and milliliters. It's measured in milliequivalents. The abbreviation for milliequivalents is MEQ, and a milliequivalent is an expression of the number of grams of a drug combined in 1 milliliter of solution. You'll find most of these, most electrolytes are using milligrams and milliequivalents. So you'll find the electrolytes that use that are in sodium chloride, potassium chloride, and calcium chloride. This is where I usually tell my potassium joke, so I'm going to. You want to hear a potassium joke? Okay. I'm only hoping you got that. Let me say it again. Do you want to hear my potassium joke? Okay. It's so funny. All right, the example. The physician orders potassium chloride, 30 milliequivalents by mouth daily in 3 divided doses. Determine how many tablets of this electrolyte supplement you should administer. Go ahead and figure it out, and when you come back, I'll do it with you. So the key thing here is, it says 30 milliequivalents by mouth daily. This word daily means that 30 is it per day, but then you have to read on and says in 3 divided doses. So the dose is 30 milliequivalents per day. Times, in 1 day, they get 3 doses. So this would be 10 milliequivalents per dose. So the dose is 10 milliequivalents. And your strength is 10 milliequivalents per tablet. I'm going to put milliequivalents in the bottom so it cancels with that. So you would just administer 1 tablet to your patients. Again, remember, when it says administer, it's per dose, not per day. And they give here in per day. So, the next example, how many 300 milligram Zygan tablets contain 0.9 grams of Zygan? Whew. We have dose times the strength. The problem here is I have a dose, which is 300 milligrams. Or this dose here would be 0.9 grams. But I have my strength comes in 300 milligram tablets. So I have to get my grams to equal what my strength is in order for me to solve this problem. So I have 0.9 grams. And I have to get it into milligrams first. And grams to milligram conversion, remember, is 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. So therefore, I would need 900 milligrams. And how many 300 milligram tablets would I need? I would need 3 tablets. After my milligrams canceled, I would be left with those tablets. Oh, nice. Okay, what's next? The example is Tocopherol, 0.5 milligrams by mouth twice a day. So this says 0.5 milligrams by mouth twice a day. I did not see the word daily in it, so it's not that they're taking it 2 times a day divided into those doses. It means that they're taking 0.5 milligrams now, and then again later on today they're taking another 0.5 milligrams. So we're going to read the label and calculate how many capsules of this drug should be given to the patient. If we're giving the drug to the patient, we're only giving it to them for the 1 dose, which now is given to us as 0.5 milligrams, times the strength, which I'll put milligrams in the bottom. And here they give me a strength of a microgram or a milligram. I'm going to use the milligram because they did the math for me. 0.125 milligrams for each capsule. Look at that. When I cancel out milligrams, I have my amount of capsules that I would need. And when I do the math, I have 0.5 divided by 0.125, and I'll have 4 capsules. Okay. Go ahead and read the next one and see if you can do that. Push pause. Come back when you're ready. The example, the physician orders is Namenda oral solution, 20 milligrams by mouth in 2 divided doses. Ooh, I don't see the word daily in there, but I do say in 2 divided doses, which means I have to cut that in half. It's 20 milligrams in 2 divided dosage. So my first dose would be 10 milligrams. Read the label and determine the amount of teaspoons this drug you would administer. So the strength of the dose I got to get from milligrams to teaspoons if I can. And this says 2 milligrams per milliliter. So 2 milligrams per milliliter. And when I'm done here, I have to recall that I need it in teaspoons. So I'm going to go back to that and remember, as you recall from your chart or from our last lesson, that there are 5 milliliters in 1 teaspoon. So those will cancel. And now my answer will be left in teaspoons. So I have 10 divided by 10, which would be 1 teaspoon per dose. Remember, it would not be 2 teaspoons because 2 teaspoons would be for the whole day in 2 divided doses, in 2 different doses. Okay? Awesome. So the next thing we're going to look at, this is the last example. It says the physician orders Norvir, 0.6 grams by mouth twice a day. So I'm going to take it now and I'm going to take it again. With meals. Ooh. Read the label and determine the number of milliliters of this drug your patient will receive. So I'm going to think dose times strength. My dose is 0.6 grams. My strength, I want it in grams, but I can't have it in grams because it's actually in milligrams. It's 80 milligrams per milliliter. So I have to get my grams to meet my milligrams. I can't put it here because 80 grams is different than 80 milligrams. For every 1 gram, I will have 1,000 milligrams. So therefore, my dose is now 600 milligrams. So my dose is 600 milligrams times my strength, milligrams in the bottom, to cancel out. And my strength was 1 milliliter for 80 milligrams. And when I cancel out my units, I'm left with milliliters. And when I do the math, I'm going to take 7.5 milliliters per dose. All right. Remember, you're looking for the word administer, and administer just means 1 time.